All right, so we recording low key late at night. You know what I mean? It's nearing bedtime. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got the bonnet on. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mel. I might be getting ahead of myself, but the bonnet's back. You know what I'm saying? The bonnet was gone because I cut my hair in January. You know what I mean? The growth has been slow, definitely slower. It feels like slower than last time I cut my hair, but I also have not been as consistent in the hair care routine, if I'm being honest.
Mm-mm. That's a
But
killer.
it is, bro. It's ridiculous. And my pillowcase is pulling out hair slightly, bro. It's not.
It's not it.
It's not it, bro. It's not it, bro. But anyway, we'll get into that another day. We back with episode 5
Yes,
of the
sir.
Jesus Juke. Yes, sir. It is episode 5. We're recording late. We got to double up, low key, not double up, but recording in quick succession because it's her wifey coming to town. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Uh, we're gonna be doing a Q&A today, but before we get into the main questions and such today, as always, we gotta start off with our object lesson.
We do.
And I believe, Miles, I gave you yours last time. So,
Yep.
all right, what you got?
So, inspired by last episode's events, uh, I want you to talk about technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. All right. Also, speaking of technical difficulties, if y'all watching this, sometimes you're gonna see my camera do whatever. I'm using my phone camera for this, so it's like trying to autofocus, and I don't know how to turn that off. So every time I move, it tries to like refocus in. So sorry about that. But um, technical difficulties, you said.
Yeah, technical difficulties. What you got for us, Pastor Fee?
Hmm.
Mm.
You know, you ever been in church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor talking, worship team singing, something's going on in the church, and the mic start messing up. You know what I mean? You get that feedback loop. It's talking about some all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Or it cuts out. You know what I mean? Then the audio people got to freak out, figure out what's going on.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's just black people, but you know what I mean? It's obligatory to say, man, the devil hard at work. You know what I'm saying? The devil was trying to stop whatever we got, whatever is hearing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But we say that because something didn't go our way.
Mm.
We say that because what we were saying we felt like had something to do with God, and we were having issues with our technology in conveying the message that needs to come across.
Mm-hmm.
It is the year of our Lord 2022, and just about everything that we do now is automated. It uses technology. You know what I mean? At the turn of the millennia, Y2K, everyone was dummy worried about what happens if technology goes amok. Our society's gonna crumble. All these things gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of some things turning into zeros. I don't know. There's a real explanation for it, but I don't know Y2K stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How is it that a technical difficulty could derail all of human civilization?
Mm. How?
How? That's what I'm asking myself. You said technical difficulties. I'm saying, man, if there really was just one bug in a system right now, if one bug got into my computer right now, we would not be able to record this whole podcast. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
facts.
You know what I'm saying? My computer is a complex system of circuits and wiring that is operating together in a seamless fashion to produce what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But a technical difficulty disrupts those systems and doesn't allow for the word to come across. Now, watch this. Paul says that we are a body of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
A body of Christ. He said, some are hands, some are feet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The feet, the hands can't go to the feet and say, I'll walk. You know what I'm saying? The feet can't go to the eyes and say, "I'll see." You hear me? You hear what I'm
I hear
saying?
what you're saying.
The body, just like that computer, is a complex system of wirings, both your circular system, your nervous system, everything. It's a complex system of wirings that work together. In the same way, the body of Christ is a complex system of peoples who need to work together in order for the word
Mm-hmm.
to get across. Now you might be saying, why is he talking about computers and all this different type of stuff? He said technical difficulties. But watch this. I'm trying to get you to understand that the body is a machine. In the same way that the body is a machine, the body of Christ is also a complex working. That's our working definition here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little more technical with the preaching today. You know what I mean? Getting a little more technical with it today. Now watch where it's going. Watch where it's going. In Acts, there's a couple by the name of Ananias and Sapphira. What happened to Ananias and Sapphira? They lied about how much they had given to the church. Now remember, people gave as they were convicted, gave as they saw fit to the church.
Mm-hmm.
But they sold property and said, we'll give this much, but say we gave it all so that we look good. What happened? They gave, they said, this is what we're going to do, and they died.
Mm-hmm.
God struck them dead where they stood because of that lie. Why? It's a bug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bug. They lied. They let something that should not have, that was destructive, began in them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Our sin nature is a malfunction of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And when you begin to speak out of a place of your flesh in sin, it is a technical difficulty to the body. It is a bug
Mm-hmm.
to the body.
Mm-hmm.
And in that instance, God got rid of it. But God didn't do that forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've lied before. I wasn't struck down dead immediately. You know what I'm saying? I've even lied about tithing before. I didn't even go hold you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get struck down dead. You know what I mean? Glory be to God. But God sent a message. He said, this is not okay. Bugs are not okay. You need to understand that when a bug happens, when a technical difficulty happens, that it is not a feature of the system. It is a malfunction of the system. You know what I'm saying? When you get a bug, when you have a technical difficulty, there is a group of experts that come in to try to solve whatever problem is going on. And if they can't solve it, they switch the method.
Oh, right.
When a pastor has in his little wireless earpiece, if that starts messing up, what happens? They go and give him a microphone. They go and give him a microphone. They said, we need to put something more sure in your hands.
That's good.
You need to put something more sure in your hands. When things start to go awry and things start to get a little buggy, maybe you're speaking out of your flesh. Maybe you're speaking out of your sin nature, and you start to cause some technical difficulties within the body. You need to go to something that is more sure. What does the word say? He said that the word of God is good for teaching, admonishing. Man, hold up. Let me get the word right. Hold up. Let me get the word right.
Hey, take your time, Pastor. Take your time.
Let me get the word right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sorry, y'all. I'm typing on this long thing, bro. Watch this. Watch this. 2 Timothy 3:16. 2 Timothy 3:16. I'm going to be reading out of the New International Version. He says, all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness.
That's good.
You need to go to something that is more sure when you start to have a bug.
That's good.
I know I went everywhere. I know I went everywhere. But I had to make it work. I had to make it work.
Hey.
Could not figure that joint out.
That's good though. That's good though.
So I gotta turn on my fan. It's dummy hot in here. I got a candle going next to me. You know what I'm saying?
Get some of that nightlight.
All right, Joe. Yeah, facts. I'm just gonna cut in. I'm just gonna cut in the intro. No kizzy. I might just start doing that from now on, but we'll see. Cause this joint just be giving me issues.
Mm-hmm.
Be fighting with it. But anyway. All right, y'all. Because you know what I'm saying, people got work in school and other things like that. Uh I'm here. I was not able to come up with a docket. You know what I'm saying? And my man Miles, you know what I'm saying, had a great idea. He said, let us reach out to the people and see what the people want to hear. So listen, you know what I'm saying? We be on here joking and chopping it up. But what you might not know, I think I can say this pretty confidently. So you might not know Miles and I are people of real substance and depth. So we got some questions and answers. Some of these gonna be goofy because that's more fun, low key. but we definitely not gonna answer every question we got because we low
We
key
got a lot of questions.
got more questions. Got more questions than
We got a
expected.
lot of
But
questions.
you know what I'm saying? We finna work our way through. So let me pull this. Let me pull this up here. Y'all not gonna be able to see it, but I need a reference. Miles, I don't know if you had one that you wanted to start with specifically, but
Uh, Start with specifically. We could pick something slight. We'll pick a slight one first. Let's say would you rather. We'll pick a
yeah.
slight one. Let's would you rather.
Oh, okay, okay.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
More time or more
Yeah, more
money?
time or more money.
More money. More money. I think listen, I'm a person that disagrees with the phrase that money can't buy happiness. I think money can buy you a lot of things. I think money can't buy you like
Mm-hmm.
joy. I'm a listen, I think there's a real difference between happiness and
Right.
joy. But money, listen, I am currently exchanging my time for money. If I had money, if I had enough of a considerable amount of money, I would be able to then use my time how I wanted to.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Um, Originally, I was thinking more time, but um, I I think I'm gonna change to more money as well. I like the way you said that. That if you have more money, you could spend your time doing things that you want to do. Interestingly enough, I have ample amounts of time right now, and I know my and reviewing the way I have been using my time. Uh, I haven't been doing I haven't been doing a lot of stuff um,
Mm,
necessarily that people would say is productive, right? I think that
yeah.
there's different levels of productivity, and we could talk about that at a different time if you want to. I think there's
Yeah, for
different ways
sure,
to be
for sure.
productive. Some people might say something's not productive. I'm like, well, what was your goal? But anyway,
It's the end of the day. It's the
but
end of the
anyway,
day.
I think more money would also. I think more money might be more, I guess, prudent at this stage of the game. Because right now
hmm
I am not fighting for time at all. So I say,
Facts.
yeah, that's a good one. More money.
So listen, if I had the money, I wouldn't need to be going to work. If I didn't need to be going to work, I could be actually making these episodes in a way that wasn't like, dang, I gotta make time. You know what I'm saying?
You said we
You know
can
what I'm
release
saying?
on time.
Facts. I could release on time. I could be doing more shows for real. It's crazy, bro. It's
All right,
crazy.
here's this next one.
I
This
think
next
so.
one, and I actually probably should have started with this one. I don't know how this slipped my mind. Uh, this
Sorry.
one is uh, this someone asked to tell the story of the first time we met.
Oh yeah, I guess that would have been a good one to start off with.
All right. And I remember this person asked me this question, and I texted them back. I said, "You're lucky I remember this because I forget a lot of people that I forget the first time I meet a lot of people. It's not that people aren't important. It's just that I just don't remember sometimes."
Listen, I was trying to make an impression, and y'all will hear that, but it definitely was. It was something.
It was very interesting. It was
something.
All right, so do you? I can tell my perspective.
You got it.
All right, all right. So first met Fee, fall 2017. I am a sophomore at Liberty University, and it's like the first week of school or something like that. I got to school about a week early before the semester started. I was gonna be a community group leader, right? And so I got there a little bit early. I'm seeing the people move in on the hall. I'm seeing the freshmen move in, and we went to a PWI. You know what I'm saying, predominantly white institution.
For sure.
But I see Fee, you know what I'm saying, one of the first, few black people I see moving on the hall. And, I see him at first. I see him from afar. I can see him moving in.
Listen, I think I was actually the first person on the hall. You know what I'm saying? Nigel know they carry last. Huh? All right. Continue.
I see Fee moving in and everything. And I know it's still like a few weeks away, but I'm like, if it's within my power, I want this guy in my community group. Community groups are like kind of weekly Bible studies almost that we do on the hall. So I was like, if I can get this guy in my group, let's do it. But we had a shortage of CGLs, and Fee, being a good person, decided to ruin my plans by volunteering to be a CGL. Right. He did. And so I think you gotta fast forward like another week or so. Forward like another week. I come out to the common area, and I don't even remember how this conversation started, but we ended up talking about an anime, My Hero Academia. I think like this is 2017, so probably season 2 is somewhere in the works. Yeah. And so we're just talking about it, chopping it up. So got a chance to meet my guy Fee. About a day, 2 days later, something like that, I'm at the Rot, which is a dining hall on campus.
The Reaver dining
I'm at the Rot.
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, they turned that joint down.
Well, I don't think they're turning
they built a new one.
They're making it into something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not a culinary school.
That doesn't make sense at all. But
no, it doesn't.
But I'm at the Rot eating with some of my other friends, and Fee walks by us, right? And so I got my plate of food, and this man Fee walks by the plate of food, and he looks at me, and on his way past, he tosses a napkin into my plate of food. And so I was like, hey, yo. I was like, I know this man didn't just throw a used napkin into my food. I can't eat this now. It's tainted. And so my guys were like, hey, like, you know this dude? Like, what was that? I was like, he on my hall. Like, it's like, he's a dude on my hall. Like, we just talked like the other day. And I seen it. So, I don't even remember if I don't even remember if I like just got a second plate or whatever the case may be. But we end up leaving. I see Fee outside, just, I don't know, chilling. Maybe he was talking to some people. I don't know. Yeah. But I see him, and he sees me see him. And I start taking off after this dude. I'm like, what's this? I start chasing him. I'm like, hey. I'm like, why you do that? I'm chasing this dude. It was some out of character stuff for real, because I don't be chasing nobody for real. I was like running outside. I probably had jeans on. Running in jeans, that's crazy. I don't know. It was real out of character.
Crazy, bro.
But yeah, that's basically, the intro to, how we met, how we became friends. You know what I'm saying?
Everything the same. everything the same, but this is what happened, right? So I saw him, and I was like, I was with some people who were definitely, uh, you know what I'm saying? We went to a PWI. So I was with some people. I was with some people, and, and I'm like, oh, like I'm finna mess with this dude. So I took some clean napkins and I crumpled them and made them look used. And I walked by and I tossed them on this man's plate. I don't know why I did that. Drake. I would never do that now. It's a weird thing to do. But I just
It's
did
such
it,
a weird thing to do.
and then it's so weird, bro. So everything happened the same way, but I think like probably second semester of my freshman year is when we like for real started hanging out. Because I think the group of people that I had been hanging out with like dissolved, like started to dissolve
Mm-hmm.
essentially, and then like early second semester or like late first semester, uh, you know what I'm saying, old Polynesian sauce didn't work out, and so and
Yeah.
so we started hanging. we started hanging. It's a whole story behind that, yeah.
That's a funny story.
It didn't work out, and so we started hanging out. And then you introduced me to Blake in Austin. So yeah, hey, the rest is history, bro. I've known this man for like 5, 6 years, almost 6 years.
That's crazy. The time.
Or is it almost
It's
5? I
like,
don't
what
know.
was it? I guess it'd be 5. I don't know. I don't.
Because if you don't count the year, it's the year itself. I think it's 5, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, 5,
It's
6, whatever.
it's a long periodological time.
Facts.
Um, yeah, it's my guy. It's a real dude.
For real. For real.
Been on the same halls ever
Went through a lot
since
of
then.
character development. Facts, actually. Got to be RA partners the last 2 years.
Facts. That was tough. That was tough. That was good.
Facts.
All right. So we got that one out the way. Um, I don't know. So we started off with kind of some light questions. What do we want to do here? All right, I think here's a good one. Shout out to my dad for this question. He said, "Why does Christianity matter?"
What?
Why does Christianity matter? And I think that's a that's a very interesting question. I think I don't know if I've ever thought about like why Christianity matters, but
I'll tell you. Oh, what was you about to say?
no, you got it. You got it.
I think I can tell you why I think it matters to me and why I think it matters historically. I think personally, I think it's to me it's the worldview that makes the most sense. It has the best ability to blend the observable universe and theories that we have so far, while also admitting to certain, I think, intuitive truths about the universe, things that we'd never be able to prove, like everything is connected. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people feel that way, but no one really has an explanation for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I think, but the Bible does. The word says that in Him all things have been made that were made. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that intuitive sense of like there's something bigger out there. I'm part of something bigger. I think that's true. You know what I mean? I think that's true. I think people. I think what happens is people look up in the sky and they see like the universe and they see planets and galaxies and all this different stuff, and they're like, yo, like it's got to be more out there. You know what I'm saying? But I think in God, you know what I mean, the God of the Bible, I think you find someone who is big and satisfies that immense kind of wonder that you feel when you look out in nature and in space and in the oceans and all that stuff. You have someone who's that big, who is unknowable. You satisfy that, like, oh, this is why I feel this awe. But at the same time, I mean, David writes in a psalm. He says, "Who am I that who is man that you're mindful of me?" You know what I mean? And it's like you look up in the sky and you see all this stuff, but then you also have a desire to be known. You know what I mean? And it's this crazy weird thing where the one who is so awe-inspiring and the one who is so seemingly unknowable, you know what I mean, is actually the one who wants to know you on the most intimate level possible. And you find out that he is knowable. He's just unknowable in the sense of that you can't mine the depths of
Mm-hmm.
him. You know what I mean? But in a historical sense, I mean, we wouldn't have universities. We wouldn't have many universities without Christianity. A lot of them were seminaries and all that kind of thing. We wouldn't have a lot of scientific discoveries, and we wouldn't have hospitals for real, for real.
Mm.
So, at least in the way we know them.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think I agree with you um, on your first part where you were talking about the worldview portion. I think one thing that everybody um, that that's on Earth can agree that something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not hard to look around and tell that we live in a
So,
broken world. The question then becomes, how did the world get to where it's at? And if we can explain
mm-hmm,
where the brokenness came from, then the next question becomes, okay, well, is there hope? Is there redemption? Is there a way to, I guess, like a way back? Is there a solution? Um,
mm-hmm,
and there's a lot of there's a lot of different answers out there. There's a lot of different answers out there. But I heard this thing one time. They said, somebody say, like, there's a lot of different answers for things, but there's only one solution. I was like, that's cold. I was like,
hey, they're wrong
that's cold. I was like, that's cold. And
for
so you
sure.
talk about the story of the Bible, when we talk about original sin, God creating mankind and giving them the directive not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and then man choosing
Mm-hmm,
to disobey that. That brought sin into the world, and that separated that relationship between man and God. Uh, and
mm-hmm,
then every other, I guess, answer that has been developed is trying to figure out a way to mend the brokenness and, I guess, in a sense, reestablish that relationship. But when you look at Christianity,
mm-hmm.
it's God himself stepping into the gap and saying, like, y'all can't do this on your own. I'm going to be the one to step in and do what y'all can't do. And, uh, and then
That's real.
interestingly enough, you know, Jesus is what, our main, that's the centerpiece of our faith. That's Jesus Christ. Jesus the only one that got back
Mm-hmm.
up. You know what I'm saying? You look around,
Okay.
uh, Confucius, he dead, you know what I'm saying? Muhammad is dead, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Buddha is dead. But Jesus, he came back alive. He's alive. He's sitting at the right hand of the Father right now. And I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
very big distinction point between Christianity and a lot of these other religions or worldviews or thought processes that are out there. Um, and so, yeah, I think that when you take a look at it, Christianity matters because it offers like a true hope. There is a hope that we can be
Mm-hmm.
reconciled with our Creator, that we can, uh, maybe not on this side of Earth, but eventually that there will be a mending of all the brokenness that we see. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen. He said a couple things in there. I feel like we need to talk about these things. I feel very strongly about these things. Miles mentioned the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Some people out there will try to tell you if you're a Christian. Some people out there will try to be like, God kicked you out of the garden because you ate a fruit. Was the fruit really that important? Was the blah blah blah? Listen, it's not about the figs, bro.
Shout out to Pastor James.
For those of you who are Christians, and for the facts, for those of you who are Christians, and for those of you who may not be Christians hearing this, what I need y'all to understand is that the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that whole thing was not just about eating from the tree. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? It wasn't about that. Adam and Eve were tasked with having dominion and taking care of the earth. Obviously, they needed to know what good and evil was. What God is saying is, will you walk with me and allow a relationship with me to define what good and evil is, or will you literally take the knowledge of good and evil
Wow.
into your own
Wow.
hands?
Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's about that. If y'all think that it's about a fruit, you're missing the point. Every day you wake up, you have the option in and of yourself to choose whether or not you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Was this man Paul saying in Romans? He says, I don't need to sin anymore, but I do. The things that I don't want to do, I do. And the things I want to do, I don't do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, we need to understand that. And the second thing is, I'm forgetting. The second thing is, ham. Oh, ethics. Ethics. Ethics as we know them are Christian. Ethics as we know them are Christian. Without a Judeo-Christian value set, there is no reason to believe in inherent rights and treatment of human beings. There just isn't. And here's the thing. People do believe in the intrinsic value of human beings, but they believe it's just because we're human beings. We're the same species, same whatever. But it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? I believe that Christianity, again, it's intuitive. It takes you that extra step and it lets you say, why do I feel that way? Oh, because God said in Genesis 1, he said, let us make man in our image. You know what I'm saying? So
That's good.
anyway,
That's
you
good.
know what I'm saying?
And that's
Real
crazy.
valuable
I've
things, bro.
literally never heard anybody break that down the way you just did, talking about every day you have the chance to say, are you going to take knowledge of good and evil into your own hands, or are you going to follow what God's definition of good and evil is? I never heard that before. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. Shout out to the Bible Project, bro. They said that. They said that first. I can't take credit for that. But I was like, when they said that, I was like, God, dang. I was like, yo, I be eating from that joint like a like a mug,
Yeah,
bro.
that's crazy, bro. For real. All right. Well, while we on these topics, Christianity, we do have a few of them.
For sure.
Can someone lose their salvation?
Yo. You want to take this one first?
Sure, I'll answer it. Can someone lose their salvation? So I have heard it said before that if somebody who professes Christ walks away from the faith, then that is an indicator that they were never Christ's to begin with, that they never truly had faith, or they never truly believed. And I don't know if I fully agree with that.
You agree with that?
The verse that is coming to my head right now is saying that, like, nothing can take you out of God's hand. I don't know the specific
10,
reference for that, but there's nothing that can take you out of God's hand. Which, interestingly enough, I've also heard it kind of be like, yeah, nothing can take you out of God's hand, but you can choose to leave voluntarily. Like, it's like an open hand type thing. Like God's holding on to you so much as long as you want to be there. That's why he gave us free will, so we could choose him, right? And so, can you lose your salvation? If you say lose in the sense of, is there anything that you can do outside of, like, renouncing God outright? If you're like, could you sin your way out of salvation? I don't think you can. I think that, like, obviously there's a point where if you just continue to live in sin, then people will question what you're like. Are you truly, saved? Are you truly following Jesus? But I think that if at one time you truly gave your life to Christ, and that's you truly believe that Jesus, died for your sins and rose again, I think if at one point in time you truly believe that, then no, I don't believe that you can necessarily sin your way out of your salvation. But at the same time, I think that it is possible for somebody to walk away from the faith, and like, I guess in that sense, if you chose to walk away from the faith, I guess you lost it in that sense. But like, that was, an active choice. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that there's like a outside of you specifically saying like, I'm walking away from Christ, that you can lose your salvation. That's a hard one though.
No, no, for sure. I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you pretty much. I don't know if you listened to the
I
newest
did.
30 minutes
I
with the
did
Perrys.
actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed them going into the
Mm-hmm.
parable of the sowers and being like, it was planted, like the seed was planted, the word was planted, and it sprouted. Like it did create some form of life, but in some
Mm-hmm.
cases it was choked out. You know what I mean? So I do think that I do think that there's an element of like, you have to continually stay
Mm-hmm.
in it. You know what I mean? Like you do have to continually stay in it, or else, like, in a sense, you're walking away. And I don't think that means like, oh, if you sin a bunch, but I do think that there's an expectation that the longer you walk with God, the less, I believe that the longer you walk with God, that
Mm-hmm.
you can sin less. You know what I mean? I do believe that, but um, yeah, I think if you are walking away, yeah, you know what I mean? Because I think there's a verse that says, what is it, like someone who's tasted and walked away, like is gone
Mm-hmm.
forever or something like that. I should probably look it up. Um, but yeah, I think people can walk away from the faith, but I think people who are held by God are are pretty good, pretty set, pretty good.
A quick add on to this question. Nobody asked this, but I'm about to ask it. What do you think about? I feel like we're starting to see, um, I guess, an uptick in people kind of walking away, or and maybe not necessarily outright walking away, but at definitely questioning like the origins of their beliefs and things like that, specifically like pertaining to Christianity. Uh, what do you have like any thoughts on that? I know like a lot of people, talk about like deconstructing and deconstruction, and people want to like try to avoid that or whatever the case may be. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. I think the first thing, I want to be sensitive to people who have like actual church, like for real church hurt, and have gone through some kind of spiritual trauma and stuff. Um, but I think sometimes like, how do I put it? Like, oh, okay, you had a bad experience. You had a bad experience in a church. You know what I mean? And I'm excluding some like real serious stuff. It's like you had a bad experience in a church because there's spirituality mixed up in it. I think people then
Mm-hmm.
start questioning the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, like, to me, that feels like, okay, but like, do you know God? Because like, there's been people in my life who I wanted to I looked to for whatever, and for whatever reason something happened, or I found out they weren't exactly the person who I thought they were, or whatever. And like, it hurts because it's like, I love that person and I wanted to, you know what I mean, like, be under that person, or be locked in with that person, but like, at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, it's like, I follow God, and God didn't change. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, here's my thing. I think deconstruction is good. I think I went through some form of that over the course of college. I think evaluating what
Mm-hmm.
you believe is necessary. You know what I mean? Isaiah 6 says, "Come, let us reason together." You know what I mean? I think it's Peter. I think it's Second Peter. I'm not sure. It says you should be ready to give reason and
Mm-hmm.
defense for your faith. You know what I'm saying? I think interrogating your faith is good, but I think there's a real question to ask if your faith ends up looking like something that you're
Mm-hmm.
completely comfortable with. I think a lot of people deconstruct their faith and then when they reconstruct it, it's reconstructed to look like something that they are okay with and something
Mm-hmm.
that they would want to follow. And like, I think if that's the case, like if you're deconstructing because like something is you don't like something, like there's some things in the Bible that I'd be like, I don't particularly like that, and or I don't particularly get that. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't get to pick and choose
All right.
what God says. You know what I'm saying? And I do think in some scenarios you can have real like biblical arguments for what you believe. You know what I mean? And in that case, whatever. I guess we just disagree and we'll find out on the other side of heaven. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
don't particularly care that much. I don't think it's like salvific issues. Not always anyway. But I do think that there's some kind of I have some skepticism when it's like, oh, okay, like, so you just made Christianity into something that is like easier for you when like that is almost the opposite of what
Mm-hmm.
God says. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think deconstruction. Um, I think that people are more afraid of deconstruction than God is. Um, God's not
Yeah,
afraid. God is not afraid of our
that's a
questions.
word.
You go read Psalms.
No, for real.
This man David was
For real.
wild, but but yeah, God's not afraid of questions. I mean, um, and on the occasion, he might even answer back. You go read Job. He might not say some stuff that you're ready to hear, but but on
Okay.
occasion, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He did answer them.
He answered though.
Bro, that speaking of Job, that reminds me of I saw this video. This girl made this video. And she said, y'all, I think I just found like the longest dragging in the Bible. Like she goes to like the chapters in Job where like God is answering Job. And she's like, did God just drag Job for 73 straight verses? Started off with like, all right, since you know everything, who was there when the earth was created? Like, were you there?
Not for real, bro.
um,
Not for real.
but no, all jokes aside, yeah, I think that asking questions is good. I think the reason that people are afraid of deconstruction is because people do not have all the answers all the time. However, God is
Hmm.
the truth. So God doesn't have a reason to fear your
That's true.
questions. Um, and it's kind of like what Fee was saying earlier. It's good to interrogate your faith because um, you can find the weak spots. And you can, you know what I'm saying, you can study to show yourself approved, shore up your faith. You can shore up your faith.
Yes, sir.
And also with that, on that note, don't be afraid to talk to other people who are going to challenge your faith.
It has
Yeah.
to be in community.
Yeah.
It has to be in
I was
community.
talking to a guy at the end of this last semester, and he was saying that he was like he's like agnostic, um, and he was saying that one thing that he found is that like a lot of the Christians that he's come across, they are not they are not willing to engage in a conversation with him about like different contentions that he has with the Christian faith. Like he was raised around the church and everything, but he's just agnostic. But he said that whenever he wants to talk to people about the Christian faith, they are not trying to have the conversations. They are not trying to talk about it. So, and I think this is one reason why people are scared to say I don't know. Don't be afraid to say I don't know. Say I don't know.
Facts.
Say let me go look that up. Say let me go do research.
Not for real.
Don't be afraid to say I don't know. Because when you try to give,
It's true.
when you try to give
Because you won't know
people,
everything.
when you try to give people half baked answers, it doesn't work.
It don't
You know
work.
what I'm saying? It doesn't work. So,
It's true.
all right.
Mm-mm. What else we got on this?
We want to stick with Christianity geared questions, or do you want to put
Let's
little
let's put
levity?
a little levity in there, and then we hit.
All right.
Put a little levity
This one is real light. Spotify or Apple Music.
All right. Here's the thing. I use Apple Music because my family has Apple Music, but having used Apple Music, I don't think Apple Music is that bad. I use Spotify for podcasts because I want to know how many minutes of podcasts I've listened to, because Apple don't do that. But like for real, if Apple decided to put in like an end of year wrap up that was actually good, it'd be undeniably better than Spotify. Except I will admit, Spotify is better at if you want to discover like new artists. Like if you want to discover artists, Spotify is better.
Yeah,
But
I
that's really
don't
it.
ever really use Spotify, so the answer for me is clearly Apple Music. But I'm not a. I think
You said Pandora.
I'm not like a playlist person either. So like I think if you're like a big playlist person, Spotify is probably where you want to go. But I'm not like a big playlist person. I add stuff to my library, and then we just rock from the library a lot of the times. I'm not really a new artist discoverer either. Sometimes every once in a while I'll look up a song that I heard somewhere, but most of the time
You gotta
I've never
listen
heard
to
of
new Steve
I've never
Lacy.
heard of Steve Lacy in my
That new
life.
Steve Lacy album. I never heard him before this album
Okay.
either, but he's real good, bro.
All right, shout out to my man Carlton for this question. Shout out to my man Carlton.
Yes.
So Carlton said, "What defines a boohoo man?" Okay, so context for this question: Boohoo Man is I guess clothing brand. It's a clothing brand.
Yeah.
I think they operate out of the UK. But yeah, they're a clothing brand. And when you like buy their stuff, a lot of it will just have like, the Boohoo Man label, like tag or whatever on it. And so I remember, like the first time that like I ordered from them, like all of the clothes I got from them all say Boohoo Man. And so we just be like, yeah, like I'm the Boohoo Man. Like that's what it is. So, so Carlton went out and he got himself some Boohoo Man stuff. He got more than me now, I think. And so he said, "What does it take to be the Boohoo Man?"
Listen, it's a commitment to the way of. It's a commitment to the way of Boohoo fast fashion. You know what I mean? As long as you got a couple of Boohoo Man fits, it's got to have the Boohoo Man tag. The Boohoo Man tag is actually very essential. Because if you buy a Boohoo Man and it doesn't have the Boohoo Man tag, you're not a Boohoo Man. Yeah, you didn't buy it. You're not a Boohoo Man. And personally, I'm not a Boohoo Man, but you know what I mean? I respect the grind.
Facts.
I respect the hustle. You know what I mean? It's a state of being.
Facts. I think to go along with that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have the confidence to wear the clothes. You can't let the clothes wear you. You can't let the clothes wear you.
So,
you know what I'm saying? I put on that overcoat. I put on that cardigan. I put on that turtleneck. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I wear that. I wear that. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You gotta first go get the Boohoo Man stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the tag on it, and then second, you gotta wear that joint with confidence. You gotta wear that joint with confidence.
It's true. You gotta wear your clothes. You have to be the one wearing your clothes. That's real. Hope that clears it up for the man.
All right. Brittany says, if you could own any sports team, who would it be, and what's the first thing you would do? This is a very elite question, I think. I don't have an answer yet specifically right now, but this is a very elite question. You give me about 2 minutes, I'll probably have something for you.
Um, I think for me the obvious answer is the Lakers, and I would trade Russ. Um, but if I wanted to be more interesting, I think I would own the Pelicans. And if I was the Pelicans, um I would low key I would make the trade for Durant. I would give BI and like 7 first round picks because they have like 13. So I'd give away like 7 first round picks. And like, who else is on that team? Do you want freaking Kira Lewis? You know what I mean? Take him. You know what I mean? I'm making the trade for KD because, listen, y'all, some of y'all sleep, but Jonas Valanciunas, Zion, and KD would
That'd be
absolutely
crazy.
torch the league, bro. They would absolutely torch the
crazy.
league.
I talked about this a little bit off camera. I think this is something I think this is what I'm gonna go with. I like baseball. I'm a casual baseball fan. You know what I'm saying? I follow the Angels pretty heavily. So if I could buy a team, I would buy the Los Angeles Angels. They are in competition with the Dodgers, which that makes it that much harder for them to be successful because everybody wants to go to the Dodgers, not the Angels. But this is what I would do. Unfortunately, for me, I would have to figure out a way to get Mike Trout off of my team, I think. And I love Mike Trout. Mike Trout, when healthy, best player in baseball. This man is going crazy right now. But he's got an annual injury every time. He's like the Anthony Davis of baseball almost. You know what I'm saying? This man right now, they just said that he's got this which I don't know what he has, and I hope that he can recover from it. But they said he's got like a pretty rare back condition that'll have to be managed like the rest of his career. You know what I'm saying? And so, in his opinion, it's like blown out of proportion. And he's gonna obviously be taking steps to, manage that, get it under control, and be able to return. But Mike Trout is under contract for a very long time. If memory serves, he signed about a 10-year, 360, 365 contract a few years ago. Which means he's got a lot of value if you trade him. And the reason that I would trade him is because the Angels have a legitimate two-way star on their roster. This is baseball, not basketball. This is baseball. You don't hear two-way star in baseball. My man, Shohei Ohtani, is killing the game. This man,
yes, sir.
This man, I saw this stat the other day. They said that he is the first Angels player to have an ERA below 250. First Angels player to have an ERA below 250, like a WHIP, which is like walks, hits per innings pitched, like of like below 1, and then like 100 plus strikeouts in like a season. But not only that, he's got 21 home runs on the season. This man does it on both ends. How many games? I don't know how many games. I don't know how many games this is.
Not many. That's what I'm getting at.
This man, you know what I'm saying? He's doing stuff that we have not seen. Literally. This man, he had a game where he had 8 RBIs. He had two 3-run homers. And then 2 other RBIs, 8 RBIs. And then he went out the next night and pitched and had 13 strikeouts. This man has had 5 straight starts with double-digit strikeouts. You know how hard it is? Every time he's going out there, he's striking out 10 or more people. You know how hard that is? And he's only pitching for 7 innings. He's out of there. You telling me he strike out 13 people in 6 innings? The max number of the least
telling you, he got that
You know what I'm
got
saying?
that
This
dog
man's
in him.
going crazy. If you got every single out every time, that's 18 batters minimum that you have to face, and he's striking out 13 of them. Come on now. So the reason, all
Crazy.
that to say
No, that's
is,
crazy.
I'm trading Mike Trout, and I'm throwing Shohei a bag so he doesn't leave us. I am throwing him a bag so that he doesn't leave, and we need to invest in pitching, because offensively, the Angels, offensively, they are up and down. The main problem, I think, comes in with the bullpen. We just don't have great starting pitching aside from Shohei a lot of the time. So we need to invest in our pitching, which they did do last year. They had I don't know exactly how the MLB draft works, but it's a lot of rounds. They used every single one of their picks to draft pitchers. Which is crazy because those pitchers won't see the league for like 5 years, but but
No.
but yeah, that's what I'm gonna
sure.
do. I'm gonna find a way to trade Mike Trout, get some. We'll get a lot back for Mike Trout, and then throw the bag at Shohei and try to get this defense under control, because I cannot keep seeing Shohei throw these absolute gems and hitting out his mind, and then we can't even make the playoffs. So I think that's, he cannot.
So one man can't do
cannot
it all.
But Shohei, he said it's not that hard. This man is looking at it like it's not that hard.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do a low key lighthearted, and then a serious, and then we hop off.
Another, well, we can stick with we'll stick with the sports theme for right now. My guy Josiah said, favorite moment in basketball history, NBA or college. That,
bro,
that
all this time I did
is
not
a very
even,
difficult
I could not think.
question. So when I first heard this question, I think the first thing that came to my mind was the Mike Breen call, blocked by James. That's a cold moment in history, bro.
I'll never forget.
That's a cold moment in history, because that basically was that play right there. It was before Kyrie hit the shot, but that low key I don't want to say low key sealed it, but like it was a backbreaker for sure.
It was a backbreaker.
That 3-1 comeback was crazy.
Was the question favorite or best?
Favorite moment.
That's
your favorite moment. Favorite moment.
Oh, favorite? Okay.
It's really hard. There's a lot of good moments in basketball. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually tough. It's actually very tough. Oh, actually, I remember. I was watching. This is gonna be kind of obscure, but I was watching the game when LeBron was on the Cavs. I think it was 2017 or 2018. I don't think Kyrie was there, so I think it might have been 2018 when they were playing the.
I think I know
Wizards,
what game you're talking about.
and they were, yeah, and Kevin Love throws a crazy deep inbound pass to LeBron on the other end of the court. LeBron takes a dribble, spin, fade, shoots the joint, banks it from the side. And I was watching that live, and I was like, hey, yo, who is this man, bro? Like, I went insane. I was just watching it, and I was like, oh, okay, the game's going to go to overtime or, like, whatever. And he hits that shot, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
I watched that replay like 7 times. That was definitely
That's
in
a
recent
nice
memory.
moment.
That's definitely up there
That's a nice
because
moment.
friggin', I would say a Sixers moment, but they
I could
be
tell you your
folding
least
in the
favorite moment in
playoffs, so it's
basketball
all
history.
tainted.
Oh, maybe
No, you
a least
can't.
favorite
What's my
moment.
least favorite moment in basketball history?
My guy Kawhi off that
Yeah.
inbound pass.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. The Hawk series to me is way worse. Way worse. The Kawhi shot was heartbreaking. The Hawk series, I was like, we're folding. Like
Dang.
we're just folding over and over and over again to a dude my height playing in the NBA. Crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy,
that's
bro.
tough. That's tough. I think the Kobe's last game is a nice moment too. Especially like
Oh
when
yeah,
they actually
yeah,
when the comeback starts to become feasible, because they were getting blown out, and you're like, dang, like Kobe's getting
yeah.
blown out in his last game. But then you start seeing like he's going crazy, and the comeback starts to look like it might happen, and then the comeback is happening, and then it's there.
Exactly,
Like that, like
exactly.
that's an
Yeah.
all
No,
time
that is
that's
up
an all
there.
time moment for real. Like that whole game, and it's crazy too because literally
Facts.
every ball was going to Kobe. They were like, shoot that, shoot that, shoot that. Yeah. Take that, take
Oh yeah.
that.
Facts. It did not matter, bro. That man could have
Mm-mm.
taken 200
But
shots that
my man
night and would
scored
not have mattered.
60 points on like I want to say it's probably about 48% shooting, which is mad decent.
Something like that.
Mad decent.
Yeah. Not for real. He's
Yeah.
that old too. Post injuries. Yeah.
All right. So, one last serious question. How serious we trying to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm down for whatever, I suppose.
All right. We'll do this one by our friend Madeline. She said, "What keeps you up at night?"
Nothing.
That's facts.
I'm asleep like a brick, bro. I'm asleep like a brick, bro. When I was younger, I'll say this. I watch horror movies every now and again. I still fall asleep. You know what I mean? I might be scared and I might whatever, but I'm gonna still fall asleep. I think the only thing that's ever actually kept me up at night is the first time I read Jesus say, uh, he says, like, in that day many will call out to me, Lord, Lord, and I'll say, depart from me, I never knew you. And they'll say, he's like, and they'll say, didn't we cast out demons in your name? And didn't we do all these things in your name? And he'll be like, I never knew you. The first time I read Jesus say that, I legitimately was like, I said, hey? I said, but if they was casting out demons, how is they not
Yeah.
okay? But no,
That's
nothing
good.
keeps
I'm
me up
glad
at
nothing
night.
keeps you up at
Not
night.
anymore, bro.
What keeps me up at night? I think there's a few things that might keep me awake. I tend to have troubles falling asleep anyway. Just cause like I'll get ready to go to bed and then I'll get in bed and I'll be like, dang, like I'm not tired anymore, which is a wild thing. It's a very wild thing because
It
I'll be
is.
tired
No, I
all
get that.
day
I get
falling
that.
asleep at 3 p.m. Be like, I did it. I'm saying
That's your
falling.
problem. You fall asleep
I'm
at 3
not
p.m.
asleep. You know what I'm saying? I got class. I be in
Oh,
class. It's
okay, okay.
2:30. You know that 5 hour energy, that 2:30 feeling. Yeah, I be in class. I'm trying not to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I be like, dang, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. It hit time to go to bed. Wide awake. My eyes will not shut. I'm like, come on, bro. Why are we like this? We are just going to complain tomorrow about how tired we are. um but if we're talking about I guess like
Facts.
thoughts that I think that might keep me up, um I say I say probably analyzing, I guess, where I'm at in my life. Um, just I do a lot of like self reflection, just in general, and so I feel like I'm constantly like reevaluating, like okay, um, like how do I feel today, or did I do anything that I wanted to get done today? Did I am I like am I the person that I wanted to be? Like, was I the person I wanted to be that day? I guess. Like, I'll have like a lot of moments where like I'll review
Mm-hmm.
like things that I said, um, things I didn't say to people. Like there will be times where I'll be like, dang, like I've been irritable lately.
Yeah.
Like, why am I so irritable? Like constantly trying to like figure out like what's going on internally. So I think that probably would be one of the things that keeps me up at night is just like
Yeah.
the constant self reflection and the little things like that. Yeah,
Oh, that's real, bro.
but
That's very real. Dang, what'd you say? He said, "Do I be the type of person I wanted to be today?" It's a very valuable question.
I think that
It's a
might be the
very
first time I
valuable
ever like
question for all
verbalized
of
it
us,
like
for
that. But
real.
that's basically kind of what it is. There'll be some times where stuff happened throughout the day, and I be like, "Why did
Yeah.
I even say that? Why did I do that? Dang!" Like,
Why did I do that? No, I get it. I get it. I get
yeah.
it. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. It's 11 o'clock here.
Hmm.
Your boy got work in the morning. I'm gonna catch you.
Yes, sir.
We gonna
We'll
catch
see
you.
y'all.
You know
Appreciate
what I
the
mean?
questions.
Appreciate y'all.